Okay, hi, this is Erin Woods. Welcome to the Small Things, Great Love New CE call for today is November 16th, 2015, Monday night. I do this call on the third Monday of every night or every month, and starting in 2016, it'll move to the first Tuesday. 2016, we're going to have Team Tuesday, so all things, calls, meetings, etc. will be happening on Tuesday night. So just kind of a heads up, insider information for being on this call. Thank you guys so much for being on the call. Hopefully you found the chat feed. Most of you have. If you're getting on, sign into the chat, say hello, tell us where you're from, how long you've been a CE, that sort of thing, and who your sponsor is, so that we can know who's here. So we've got Louisiana, we've got Florida, we've got Maine, we've got Maryland. I think those are the only states so far that we've got represented. But Small Things, Great Love, we've got to be getting close to being in all 50 states, but I need to go back and count. It's been a while. I am your director. I have been a compassionate entrepreneur for 2.5 years, more than 2.5 years now, since March of 2013. I became a director last summer, so July of 2014. I've been to Haiti on a vision trip, Guatemala on a vision trip. I've been top seller, top recruiter. I have a team now of almost 400 women, and I am loving every single day of this work. And I've been a CE, I calculated it, for almost 1,000 days. I'm coming up on my 1,000th day anniversary. And I just love that every day I wake up excited to do trades of hope, do something for my business. And so that's what my wish for you. I love that Tina has been a CE for about 10 days and I've been a CE for almost 1,000 days, but I hope that you just grow every single day, all of you, in your love for this mission, for this work, for this company, for the artisans, for the founders, all of it, because you are really a part of something very special, very dynamic, very exciting. You're part of a movement, and I don't know about you, but I never thought that I would be part of a movement. Helping people shop in a more shop more socially conscious, to educate people, to end poverty, to have an impact on human trafficking and all kinds of big issues in the world. I didn't think that that would be me, but it is me, and it is you. You are a part of this movement. You are a part of this company, and I just welcome you to the journey. This company is, hopefully you've realized very quickly that it's special. The relationships that we have with each other as compassionate entrepreneurs, as part of the sisterhood, it really starts with our founders. They are incredible, loving, sincere, to the core women, and I hope that all of you are planning to come to the retreat in January and meet them. I'll never forget the first time I met the founders. When I went to the first retreat, I had been a CE for about 9 months, and I was shaking like a leaf the first time I walked up to the meet and greet with the founders. I thought I was going to pass out, but because they were just larger than life in my eyes. And then I got to meet them, and the first person I hugged was Gretchen, and it just felt really good to know them and have a face with the name. And what was incredible, and what you'll find when you come to retreat, is you see these names. Even for me, I see your names all over the place, all over Facebook, all over my back office, and I don't know you, and I want to. And when you go to retreat and you meet people and you're like, oh my gosh, it's Lonnie Rodriguez, it's Jill Butler, it's you're putting names with faces with real people, and you're giving them a big hug, and you already feel like you know them. And then when you go home and you get back on Facebook and you're like, wow, I actually know these people now, and you have a relationship. And that's really, really precious, whether it's with our founders or with me or even with your sponsor. There's a lot of women on this team that, like Amanda's on this call. I've never met Amanda, and I'm really excited to meet her. So, coming to retreat, building those relationships is just something really special. And then it ripples out. Everything ripples in this business. It ripples out to your hostesses, the relationships that you have with your hostesses, with your guests who come to your parties. One of the things that I think, well, in any direct sales company, but is customer service and relationship building. It's going to help you sponsor. It's going to help you retain customers, loyalty. It's going to help you retain parties. When you build a relationship with a hostess, she's not going to cancel on you. She's not going to reschedule. She's going to really try to be your partner. So always be thinking about the relationships that you're building. Okay, so you're a brand new CE. You should have received an email from me that kind of gives you a overview of what to do now and what to focus on, because I know, I was just talking to Ryan before the call started, you know, my personality is very much, I'm on a need-to-know basis. So I don't open up the back office toolbox and look at it and think, I have to click on every link. That's actually the opposite. I'm more of the, I need to set up a party. Okay, let me find a link that teaches me how to set up a party. And then when I need to do a hostess order, I find the training video on how to do your hostess order. So there are probably links in the back office that I have never clicked on, but I'm okay with that. So I encourage you to use the 30, 60, 90-day Smart Start program as no matter what your personality is, just to keep you focused on really the things that are important. The back office is wonderful. Toolbox is great. There are it's actually recently, some of you won't know this, but because you're so new, but it's recently been reduced and cleaned up and you know, simplified. And I think that you'll see that happening even more over in the next few months. The home office is really working hard on a strong Smart Start program, even a Strong Start program, which is going to be wonderful. So look at that 30, 60, 90-day Smart Start plan as what you need to be doing. And even if you don't hit all the markers, you'll hear me say this a lot, because I do. I truly believe that when you are reaching for a goal, you know, your goals should always be just out of reach so that you have to stretch to get them. And so the 30, 60, 90-day Smart Start is not unattainable, but it might cause you to stretch a little bit. It might make you, you know, reach a little further than you thought you could, or than you thought you were capable of. And that's good. That's what you want. There's so much personal growth opportunity in this experience as a compassionate entrepreneur. You don't want it to be too easy. But even if you're stretching and you're reaching and you want the goal so bad, but you don't quite get there, you're reaching for the moon, you still fall among the stars. You know, we did an incentive a while back called 12 for 12, and it was holding 12 parties within I think it was a 6-week period, or I forget the time period. But if you did that, if you held 12 parties, then you got 12 presents. You got 12 products from the home office. So it was really exciting. Well, a lot of women were really stretching for that and reaching for that 12. And maybe they had, you know, they didn't quite get there, but it was not a failure if they got to 10. It was not a failure if they got to 7. It was not a failure if they got to 5, because those were 5 parties that maybe they wouldn't have had if they hadn't been reaching for that goal. So, you know, I encourage you to reach for the 30, 60, 90-day. Try to achieve all of those check marks and check boxes. But if you don't, it's okay. You can continue to fight for them. You can continue to push for those sales, for those parties, for the sponsorship of you know, I think it's 2 CEs for your 90-day goal. But if you're striving for it, then you're achieving. You know, there's another saying that you'll hear me say that Mary Ann said it not too long ago, and it cracks me up because it's totally my personality. If the incentive is a banana, win a banana. No matter what it is, no matter what the challenge is that's been laid before you, go for it. Try to get it. You know, it's not so much about the prize as it is about pushing yourself and the motivation to work and learn and strive. So for right now, your banana is your 30, 60, 90-day Smart Start. So win the banana. Go for it. Follow that checklist. You know, the very first thing that you have to do, because just in case you didn't know, this is a home party company, which in that descriptor makes it pretty clear that we need to have parties. We need to have parties on our calendar. And so if you're building a house, if you're thinking about your business as your house that you're building, the foundation of your house is parties. So you got to book parties. And hopefully this time of year you have had some success. I know a lot of people are doing vendor events, which are great for generating leads for future parties. But you really want to get on the phone, making your Frank list, and get some parties going. Because once you have parties on your calendar, then everything else becomes so much easier. Because then you can do the other, pieces of your business. Because your business really consists of 4 things: booking, selling, booking and hostess coaching go together. Booking and hostess coaching, selling, sponsoring, and continuing education. Now, continuing education you can do all day long. You can do if you don't have parties. It's better to learn something and then apply it. So if you're doing a great training, it's much more impactful to then go and do a party or have a conversation with a potential CE and be able to apply that information. But continuing education is something you can always do. Bookings is where it really all begins. So once you have bookings on your calendar and you have parties on your calendar, then you can do the hostess coaching piece, then you can do the selling, and then you can do the sponsoring, because the women that you're going to sponsor, you're going to meet at parties, or they're going to be your hostesses. I can't tell you, I've never actually counted it up, but so many of the women on this team were hostesses previously. I should probably do a tally just so we can have a statistic. But it's really, can you guys hear me? Okay. It's really amazing how many hostesses turn into compassionate entrepreneurs. Some of you on this call were probably hostesses to begin with, because hostesses you get really involved, and especially a hostess that's really partnered with the compassionate entrepreneur to throw a great party, you just can't help but fall in love with it. I was a hostess to begin with. So, parties are where it begins. Parties are where you meet the people that are going to be your future hostesses. They're the people that are going to be your loyal customers. They're the people that are going to be your future sisters and sponsored compassionate entrepreneurs. The other big piece of advice that I always want to impart onto new CEs is the daily discipline piece. And, our team is called SmAll Things, Great Love. Hopefully you read your welcome email about how that name came about and why we're called SmAll Things, Great Love. It was a mantra that I kind of took on as my own personal mantra when I was first as a compassionate entrepreneur and was home with an infant and a toddler, and I was home from my job for the first time ever, and it was a little much. I was having a hard time finding purpose and meaning in all of the diaper changes and bottles and laundry and dishes and all that kind of stuff. But I really took on this mantra of SmAll Things, Great Love, and doing every task with love and commitment and purpose. And when I did that, and I literally repeated it over and over again in my mind, or sometimes said it out loud, it started to change the way I looked at my life and my day-to-day routine. And something that I also did was I did small things with great love for my Trades of Hope business. I didn't start out top seller and top recruiter and, the director and confident person that I am now. I started off very introverted, very nervous, very unorganized. I wasn't doing hostess coaching. I didn't even know what it was. I started off very humbly, if you will, in this business, but I was enjoying it, and I was just taking it one day at a time, and I was committed to working my business a little bit every day. And if anything has led to my success, it is that. And I'm not talking about hours and hours a day. I'm talking about 30 minutes to an hour every day, touching my business, working on one of those 4 areas: continuing education, booking parties, hostess coaching, selling, and sponsoring. And if you do that, if you touch those areas of your business throughout your week, every single day, even 1,000 days down the road, you will never feel burdened. You will never feel overwhelmed. You will truly enjoy what you're doing because your work is contributing to something so much bigger than all of us. And I love that. And I love that all I have to do is stick stickers on catalogs and make a couple of phone calls a day and, do these very simple tasks, over and over and over again, day in and day out, but I enjoy them all. and I get to change the world. I get to impact lives of women and children and men and families all over the world. And you get to do that too. So that's really all my stuff for tonight. We've got 15 minutes left, and I wanted to open it up for questions. So feel free to chat into or type into the chat. And yep, we got a question already. Gail Nelson says, I signed up a while ago. And okay, you've had some inquiries about fundraisers. Okay, so fundraisers are awesome. I have recently become a very big fan of fundraisers. I didn't really do them when I first started, but I've now done a handful and I really like it. A fundraiser is really however you want to structure it. So, you've got your base commission of 20%. You can give away 20%. You can give away 10%. You can give away 5%. Whatever it is that you want to do that you're comfortable with. Sometimes I'll do a fundraiser and I'll give away all of my commission, or 20%. And then, but then in exchange, I'll ask if I can keep the hostess rewards. And that usually works pretty well with people. Nobody usually has a problem with that. The nice thing about fundraisers is that they tend to be really big parties because people know that they're shopping for not only for Trades of Hope, but for a cause that might be local or they might be more connected with. When a hostess is really passionate, you want her to be really passionate about Trades of Hope, and she probably is. But if she's also really passionate about an organization that she works with or loves, or, a cause that's close to her heart, she's going to work really hard and she's going to have a great party. So, tapping into what your hostess is passionate about is really important, and using the fundraiser idea to do that can work really, really well. The biggest parties I've ever had have been fundraisers. One of them I did my first year as a CE, and I actually didn't donate my commission. They wanted to donate the hostess reward products to a Christian Sharing Center boutique, which resells new items. And so I just did that again with another big party, and we donated 13 scarves. I just bought all the scarves I could buy with the hostess rewards, and we donated them to the Christian Sharing Center boutique. So sometimes donating the hostess rewards could work. Doing silent auction things, silent auction baskets are also really nice. So look for opportunities to do things like that. Some of you guys know Mary Andrews. She's one of the, top leaders in our company, and I met her through a silent auction basket. So you never know who you're going to connect with through fundraisers and through silent auctions and things like that. Gail, I hope that answers your question. And I'll be happy, we can message back and forth later if you have more questions, but really you can structure a fundraiser however you want. Jessica Welch asked, how far into being a CE did you go on your first vision trip? I went to Haiti in May of 2014, so it was about 14 months after I had been a compassionate entrepreneur. I would say anywhere between, but then Jess Artizinger, who's another director in the company, she went I think like 4 months after becoming a CE. So it's really not, it's more about, the application involves an essay and then a points system. So the points you earn from sales, from sponsorship, from attending retreat, you get points for all of those things. So, they want to take women on vision trips that are committed to building a business, not necessarily the, top sellers and top people, but people that have shown commitment, have shown that they can sell, that they book parties, that they are building a business, that they can sponsor, that they have, and then obviously the SAPs can fill in a lot of gaps too. But it's more about people that want to be leaders and want to build a business. So, the timing of it, somebody could easily go 3 or 4 months into their business. Mine was 14 months, but that's just because that's the way that it worked out. Another question, how do you feel about keeping bestseller items in stock for cash and carry? Do you think shoppers would be happier if they get to leave with something knowing the rest of the order is on the way? That's completely up to you. I never do cash and carry. I've probably done it I probably sold like 5 things off my table. I've never done a vendor event. I've done like a couple of, I've done 2. I've done The very first thing I ever did with Trades of Hope was a little vendor event in my neighborhood clubhouse with like 5 of my neighbors who sold other things, and that's where I found my first hostess. So my very first thing I did was a vendor event, but I didn't sell anything off my table because I didn't have anything. I just had my kit. And then I did a vendor event last Christmas at my friend's house, and but I really don't do them, so I don't do a lot of cash and carry. I think because our shipping is so fast that, you know, it's not that much delayed gratification. If they really, really want to walk away with something, then yeah, maybe have some Haiti signature bracelets on hand or something. But I think people are pretty happy because things come pretty quickly. Another comment question. I did a holiday bazaar on Saturday. Our table looked like a garage sale. Can you give me some tips for success in that forum? Yes. There's pictures all over the place of people's displays. If you search on the main CE page for, you know, display, you'll probably pull up a ton of threads with different pictures of people's displays. I use the trays. A lot of you probably got one of the trays in your kit. I'm not sure if they sell them now individually. They used to, but or they were talking about having those, but I have everything in trays, and it's very neat and tidy, and I try to avoid the garage sale look. I also I like everything's really simple in my display. I don't have a lot of display pieces. I have the trays and I have the necklace stands, and then I have a couple little like clay little cup type things where I'll put a bracelet inside of it. But for the most part, I let the products speak for themselves. You know, I put all the journals I put in the flower bowl, and, you know, the scarves I just kind of, you know, fold them up neatly and lay them in kind of a line, like a little rainbow of scarves. So I just think in general, less is more with your display. And then there's just look up pictures of people's displays and get ideas. There's a lot of people that do really beautiful things. I am more of the simplistic versus like grand, but that's because I just do dining room tables. I don't do vendor events where I have to catch people's eyes and that kind of thing. So another question. Okay, great tip about, okay. Jessica asked, do you place the card with the item? That's really funny. You know, when I first started as a CE, I kept every piece in the gold bag with the card that it went with, and every party I put everything back, and I was like super, super organized, I thought. So now I do not do that. I put kind of a sampling of cards around with, you know, within the trays. So like if I have 7 pieces in a tray, I'll put in, you know, an India card and a Haiti card and a Costa Rica card. So I keep it really, really simple. Again, you know, I have probably 1,000 artisan cards now, extras. So if anybody wants some, I can send them to you. But we sell them too. You can buy a whole pack of cards. But I wouldn't worry too much. Very rarely do people say, well, which card goes with this? They just want to know that a card comes with it. They don't necessarily need to know which one. So yeah, relax about that. Less is more. Amanda, do you always display your whole kit? I display pretty much everything that I have. I have some, you know, I make sure that I display everything that's current in the catalog. And I don't have everything, obviously. I really only buy things that are that I either really love and I know I'm going to wear or use a lot, or in turn would be able to sell because I love it, or things that I know are really good sellers that I might not necessarily love, but I know that they sell really well. So, but yeah, I put up pretty much. But my display is so organized because everything. Like I can set up in 10 minutes and take down in 10 minutes because everything has a place. I've been promising for a while to do a video of setting up my display. I need to do that because it's really very easy. And some of you, Kelly, you've seen me set up my display. You know, it's amazing how much stuff comes out. I've got like Mary Poppins bags, and you know, it's kind of amazing what comes out, but it's pretty organized and everything goes right back in. Kelly says, is there a specific label to use when mailing out or labeling our catalogs or thank you notes? Is this something we should personalize? Yes, yes, definitely. It's your business, so, start to think about marketing you. It's not just Trades of Hope. I mean, you want to make sure that, like, the graphics that you're putting up online and that kind of thing are coming from the home office. You want to stick with the Trades of Hope brand, and try to use our logo, on your business cards and that kind of thing. But, my labels on my catalogs are super, super simple. They're just plain white labels, and I think I print them out in blue ink, but it's just my name and phone number, and it's very, very easy, very simple. Same thing with my thank you notes. I stick the same sticker on it that has all of my information. It's boring, but it's clear and you can read it. And then I did buy, like, a year into my business, I got like a Groupon for one of those stamps, that you can, with like an address stamp. And so I got one that was a Trades of Hope one, like for my business. So I use those on my thank you notes and stuff for when I'm mailing out things. But yeah, just something simple. But you definitely want to have your information on every catalog, every trifold, every card, everything you pass out. Make sure it's all your information. It's your business. Lane asks, how do you overcome the negative direct sales party stigma? People always say, oh, you're another party company. They don't say that. You know what? I believe so much in what we're doing, and I'm so happy and proud that we're a home party company because I love this business model. It was shared recently. Shelly and Haiti was talking about how our partnership with them as a home party company is the best business model for the growth that she's trying to achieve. Shelly's goal is employing more and more and more people, and the only way that she can do that is to sell more and more and more product. Well, a boutique or a regular organization or company is probably going to buy about the same amount of product every time they make a purchase. Well, Trades of Hope buys more and more because we have more and more compassionate entrepreneurs having more and more parties. And so as we grow, it is directly correlated with how many jobs Shelly can create and can sustain. I mean, when I went to Haiti in May of 2014, there were 200 employees at A Parent Project. Now there are over 300 full-time employees. Well, if you correlate that to how many compassionate entrepreneurs were added in that year, it makes a lot of sense. So, Lane, my feelings about that is just believe in what you're doing. We're not pushing a product that people don't need. People are going to buy jewelry. People are going to buy accessories. They're going to buy scarves. They're going to buy gifts. Why not buy things that are impacting real lives? And when people say, oh, we're just another party company, we're not just another party company. We are partnered with people. Our products represent individuals and dignified partnerships, and there's just so much more to what we're doing than just selling a product. So just believe in that and learn all that you can about that so that you have the confidence to speak about that, if somebody wants to be negative, so that you can confidently turn that around very quickly because you can. And if you listen to the founders and you listen to the heart of this company, it's just very special and very unique. So yes, we are a home party company, but we are unlike any home party company out there. So we are very unique. And explain that the business model is amazing, that the ripple effect, when I stand in a party, and I say at every single party, when I'm standing there in a living room and I'm thanking the hostess for having a party and partnering with me, and I'm looking around the room, I'm pointing out to them the literal ripple effect that exists right before our very eyes, that I alone cannot change the world, but I can, cast a stone and create many ripples. That is hostesses and her guests. They are the ripple effect. That's how you change the world. You host a party and you invite 10 people or 8 people or 5 people in your living room, and those 5 people host another 3 or 4 parties, and those 3, and it just grows from there. So believe in the business model that you're a part of, and other people will get it. Okay, Linda asked, I plan to use my cue cards for my first event, and I want to know my approach. Cue cards. Yes, 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 cue cards. And then Holly also said, do you personally say every word on the cue cards, and how much do you recommend we follow them? So cue cards. When I started as a compassionate entrepreneur, there were no cue cards. So I wrote out my entire presentation and I had it typed up, and I would take it to parties with me and I would kind of read it because I was so nervous about leaving something out, and I wanted to make sure that every bit of information that I could possibly squeeze into my presentation was shared. As I have grown and as I have learned and as I have gone through this experience, I will tell you my presentation has ebbed and flowed quite a bit. And again, less is more. Using those cue cards, even if you're not, I mean, I don't suggest standing up there and reading them word for word. And I can definitely get up and do a party without cue cards in my hand, without anything in my hand. But when I get up and I'm holding cue cards in my hand and I'm making an effort to read some of the cards, and there's a woman sitting in that living room on the couch looking at me, and she's thinking, she's got cards in her hand. I could do that. You know, you got to remember, for the majority of the world, public speaking is, in terms of things that people fear, is second only to death. So, you know, public speaking is a scary thing. So if I'm standing up there and I've got cards in my hand and somebody's looking at me and thinking, oh my gosh, I love this company, I want to do this so bad, I want to be a compassionate entrepreneur, but I'm terrified of standing in front of a group and speaking, but look, she's holding notes in her hand. If that is what helps her become a compassionate entrepreneur, then I will hold cue cards in my hand until I'm blue in the face, because the greatest gift that I can give to the artisans is to sponsor. And so I want to do everything that I can to help other women see themselves in my job, in being a compassionate entrepreneur. So, you know, you want to be yourself, you want to be personal, you want to, you know, you don't want to sit up there and be a robot with the cue cards, but use the cue cards. I cannot stress to you how important it is to be duplicatable, because other women are looking at you and thinking, oh, I want to do this so bad, but I'm nervous, I'm scared. I mean, just think about yourself. You probably had fears and apprehensions when you first started, and maybe the presentation was one of those fears. But how freeing is it to know that your presentation is done? You've got it in your hand, and you've got that security blanket always. So, you know, yes, use the cue cards, please. I'm a huge proponent fan. Now, of course, I go off script a little bit when I talk about the artisan stories, but I only talk about Haiti and Guatemala. I really don't tell any other artisan stories. I think 2 stories are enough. I think your presentation should be 15 minutes. And if you haven't watched the YouTube video that I have up of one of my actual presentations, I strongly suggest that you watch it so you can see how I use the cue cards and when I put them down, and, you know, kind of how I do it. And my presentation in that video is 24 minutes long, but it includes introductions, and I took some questions at the end too. So take a peek at that on my YouTube channel. How do you utilize social media? And then Laura said, what am I missing by not being on Facebook? Well, social media is great and terrible all at the same time. It is a noisy marketplace, a lot of times very impersonal, but then at the same time, you know, you guys know Veronica Martinez, again, another top leader in our company, and I met her because she was invited to a Facebook party with another hostess, and she couldn't come to the party but liked Trades of Hope and reached out to me. So if it weren't for Facebook, I wouldn't have met Veronica. So you never know, again, who's watching and who's paying attention. A lot of women on this team were watching me post on my business page or on Instagram, and I could see they were liking things, and sometimes they would comment. And 6, 7, 8 months down the road, they approached me and said, hey, I really like what you've been doing. I would like to have lunch. And some of those people are compassionate entrepreneurs. Anna Berardi and Catherine Stewart have both become compassionate entrepreneurs pretty much because of the posting I was doing on social media. So my tip with social media, just like really quick tip, there's a lot to it, but I think the key is to inspire people. Facebook really controls what is seen, and Facebook really likes inspiration, gratitude. They're not big on, here's the sale and here's the link, go shop. So don't do that. You won't see a lot of that if you're scrolling through my feed on my business page. You won't see a lot of that. And do your research. Look at what other people do on their business pages. Look at Jill Butler. Look at Jess Artisinger. Look at my business page. Look at Shelly Massey. She's on another team, but she does some really nice stuff. Look at Anna Berardi. She does a ton of beautiful things. Anna is that's her job, is social network marketing. So she does a beautiful job. So just look and see what other people do and try to kind of get into that groove. Look at what the Trades of Hope main page is doing. Try to emulate that. Laura, to answer your question, what you're missing, I do communicate a lot through the Small Things Great Love Facebook page. So if possible, maybe check that. You can add it to your favorites so you get notifications. And then the main CE page, Hope staff posts important things. So, even if you get on Facebook and just check out those two groups, that might be an important thing to do so that you're not totally missing out. I try to send things via email, but, it's hit or miss. These were really good questions. You guys have anything else? All right. I love you guys. I know that I've probably met two of the people on this feed or on this call tonight, but I just continue to feel so humbled and honored by you joining us and joining this company. And I just hope that you will come to retreat so that I have the opportunity to meet you in person, and that you have the opportunity to meet our founders and hear from Shelly and hear from Kate, from Cherished. It's just the connection with real people is truly priceless. We do this business alone, but it is so wonderful to connect with real people and feel like you're a part of a team. And if you can't come, I get it. I know for some it's impossible, but try to connect with people locally. Find CEs in your area and connect with them, and try to get together for coffee and just talk a little shop. It's fun, and bounce ideas off of each other, and give some support. And if you're struggling with something or you had a big win, it's sometimes nice to share in person. It's great to send, I love getting texts and messages and emails from people saying, this went really well. But sometimes it's nice to connect in person, so just try to do that. Amanda asked, is our newsletter automatically sent to customers who enter their email addresses? Yes, the HMP, the Hope Marketing Portal newsletter will go out to customers whose email addresses have been entered. You can physically add people if you want, but I've never done that. I just sort of let it build up. But if you have people that you want to add, you can go back and physically add in people to receive your newsletter, but otherwise it goes out to people automatically. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a great week. Have a great rest of your November. We're not quite to December, but we're almost to the end of the year, which is really, really exciting. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for being on the call. And if you ever have any additional questions or want to have further conversation, please reach out to me. I try to make myself as accessible as possible, and I love hearing from you. Don't ever feel like I don't want to. I love it. Send me a Facebook message, text me, call me, send me an email. You've got all my info, and that's on purpose because I genuinely care about you and your journey as a compassionate entrepreneur. Thank you guys.